Hi, I'm Bryan Thompson. This is What's Up with News Up Now. A growing number of Republicans joined Democratic leaders today in calling for Attorney General Jeff Sessions to step aside from an investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 White House election. Top Democrats demanded that Sessions resign as the nation's top law enforcement officer after the revelation that he had twice talked with Moscow's U.S. envoy during the campaign. Sessions' conversations with Ambassador Sergei Kislyak seemed to contradict Sessions' sworn statements to Congress during his confirmation hearings. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi accused Sessions of lying under oath, and she and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said Sessions should step down. Schumer said the Justice Department to appoint a special prosecutor to examine the federal investigation into the Kremlin's meddling in the U.S. election, which has been compromised by Sessions. Updates for U.S. oil companies. Crude prices fell after U.S. crude inventories rose to an all-time high last week and Russian output was unchanged in February. Fred Katayama reports.
U.S. crude stocks shot up to an all-time high last week. Inventories by the world's largest oil consumer rose by 1.5 million barrels. And Russia's oil production was flat this month. That signals a pause in Moscow's efforts to curb production. Rising U.S. inventories and flat Russian output sent U.S. oil prices down below $53 a barrel Thursday morning. For Standard Financial's chief market economist, Peter Cardillo.
The price of oil is basically trapped in a trading range here between 52 and 55. We just can't get over that 55 level just yet, and I think that's not a negative going forward for the market, but I think we're in a period where the market is building a base, and that base now will probably mean that we break out to higher prices.
Oil prices have been unusually stable since November. That's when oil producers agreed to cut output.
In other news, here in the Bay Area, a Los Angeles billionaire donated $5 million to the San Jose Flood Victims Relief Fund this afternoon, increasing the Victim Focus Fund six-fold. The fund benefits the American Red Cross, Catholic Charities of Santa Clara County, Sacred Heart Community Service, and Salvation Army. Those organizations will issue funds for expenses like temporary accommodations, car repair, and replacement furnishings to victims of the flood. Q Hong, who at 31 immigrated to California as a refugee at the end of the Vietnam War, founded Rare Antibody Antigen Supply in 1980 and Shanghai RAAS Blood Products in 1992, according to his Facebook page. Beer market in Brazil. AnheuserBusch InBev, the world's largest brewer, has suffered its first decline in core earnings since the formation over a decade ago, as recession hit Brazil depressed beer sales by even more than expected. Sonia Legg reports.
It makes more than a quarter of the world's beer, but it may not be raising a glass after its latest results. AnheuserBusch InBev has suffered its first decline in core earnings since its formation in 2004. The brewer of Stella Artois, Budweiser and Corona has had big problems in its second largest market.
Brazil has been really struggling initially with the commodity price bust, but more recently the legacy of public sector corruption and growth has been very, very disappointing in Brazil, and that market therefore has been very, very weak for AB InBev. That really held down results today.
Core profit for the fourth quarter was $5.25 billion. Down 3.6% on a like-for-like basis and excluding currency impact. Without Brazil, it would have risen 6.4%. The timing wasn't great. Last year, AB InBev paid almost $100 billion to take over its nearest rival, SAB Miller. Merger savings have now been increased from $1.4 billion to $1.75 billion. Shares fell almost 2% when markets opened, making them the worst performer on the FTSE Eurofirst 300. And the company says there'll be no bonuses for most of the executive board.
Back to the Bay Area, to San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who began the center of national debate when he refused to stand for the national anthem last season, reportedly will end his protest for the upcoming season. Citing sources close to the soon-to-be free agent, ESPN senior writer Adam Schuffer reported on Kaepernick's decision today. According to this source, Kaepernick was ending his protest so as to not detract from the positive change that he believes he has already created. That's all for you today. I'll see you next time. I'm Bryan Thompson.